Hey, I'm here with Audri. Say hi.
Hi, hello.
All right. She's going to show her profile for Kokoro Moca, Bang Dream. He went, what was it, 4-1?
4-1?
4-1 at the Chicago Regional with it, so yeah, check it out. Go ahead.
All right. Well, we'll start with the level 0 game. Pretty basic stuff. The deck is designed to run the Hello Happy World engine until it hits level 3. Then we switch into Moca and hopefully don't see any climaxes on top when we swing for the attack. So the first card is a Hagumi. It is a... wow, that's bad. Yep. Okay. It is a stock bomb. And also, if they play a climax, it allows the card to go to stock. That is a very good answer to our AOT, and anytime getting stock is just fun. Okay. Last minute addition to the deck that actually turned out to be a real butt save is this on stage Hagumi Kitazawa, I'm sorry. Basically, you put a card top of your deck into the clock, discard a card, go search for a climax. It's yellow. That allows us to get the climax that we're going to need at level 1. Okay. One of my favorite cards in Bang Dream.
Oh, dang, you ran 4?
I went all in. They're a searcher, pay 1, discard 1, search, and when they're in the center stage, they get +1 soul. I mean, what's more fun than swinging for 3 on an opening attack? But also, it gets it sets up your level 1 game. Okay, here we got a Cowrail. Basically, it's a Dukatsky for Hello Happy World. Again, I'm really just obsessed with getting my Kokoros at level 1. So we run 4 of those to make sure it happens. The last 4 cards is an on-stage Conan. Her first ability is, I'm actually going to read it, it's very, because it's kind of confusing to remember off the top of my head. When a character's trigger check reveals a Michelle secret, Misaki Okasawa. Let's grab that and show that. Right there. Or the 1-0 Kokoro. You can put it into your hand instead of putting it into your stock. The second ability is pay 1, and it's an Amagi effect for Hello Happy World cards. Right, so that's all the zeros. That is, I think, 16, 4, 8, 12, 16, 18. 18 zeros. Okay, level 1 time. The star of the show, she who leaps out of second-story buildings and does backflips. Kokoron. This is probably one of the funnest and meme-ish level 1 plus combos you're ever going to run into in the game. When she comes into play, she gets plus 2,000 power on the turn she comes in, and climax combo with Orchestra of Smiles that she gives herself and another character an instance of if the opponent cancels the attack, salvage a card. I hate to say it, there are times I have cheered for my opponent to salvage, to cancel all 3 attacks. Another little synergistic thing is to help cancel attack. We go ahead and put that in the center, have the +1 soul, maybe swing into an open spot for 4. If they don't cancel it, they eat 4 and they're mad about that. If they do cancel it, maybe you pumped it and you can get 2 or 3 salvages out of it. 2. Alright. Move that aside. Next one is a really fun little card. It's Misaki. This time she is not a bear, but this card helps us make a bear. So we'll start with the first ability. For each character who attacks in front of it, it gets plus 1,500 power till the end of the turn. Second ability, change. At the beginning of the climax step, you may pay 1, put this into the waiting room, and change into this. And then when this comes in, now we got to get into this one. 1,500 power to characters in front of it during your turn. So your Kokoro can get pretty big, and another copy of this Misaki gets a nice pump from that. The second ability is you can put this into your stock and change at the beginning of the climax phase and change back into a Misaki if you happen to need an attacker. This is also a part of the early play condition for this early play level, this level 3 to get it in play early, but we'll go over that in a few minutes. Let's we did that. All right, let's go to level 2. If you notice, we haven't done anything green yet, because we are going to need some green for Mocha. We're just going to go with one of the best green cards in the set. This is Samari. When she faces a level 3 or higher than your opponent's level, this card becomes reversed. If the level of this card's battle opponent is higher than the opponent's level, you may put the top card of your opponent's clock into the waiting room and then send that character to clock. Really good for getting rid of annoying goddesses that prove to be more than useless and when they're restanding on you. Also, it has an alarm ability that when start of the climax phase, if this is the top of the card of the stock, and you have 4 or more characters, you may blind stock. Alright, that brings us to level 3. We'll start with the early play. We play 2 of those. The early play condition is having a Michelle. And we got to go back and grab our level 3 on stage Conan. And
yeah, those 2 are on play.
Yep. It gets 500 for each other character during your turn. And it looks up to the X number of cards, where X equals the number of characters you have, and you can put a card into hand. Probably how you're going to get a Mocha or a Mocha Climax. For this one, we don't play the Climax combo, but Musashi is always good. If you don't have a third Mocha, drop with a Musashi. It'll get you there. Last but least, the second star of the show, 4 copies of Accepting Feelings Mocha. It has a Climax combo with this bar that allows you to look at the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. First, you can discard up to the 2 cards, or you could set them back up to 2 back on top of their deck in any order. You also can do the same thing to yourself. What I really try to do is, when I'm swinging, make sure that I'm swinging for 3 by seeing that I hit a blank or a no trigger, and try to have 2 clean cards on top of the opponent's deck for maximum efficiency hit the attack. You can also set yourself up where you can put a Climax underneath, trigger the card, set the card on top, trigger it, have a Climax ready to go for if you don't happen to kill your opponent, and that could be a little bit of a butt save in a critical situation.
And then they heal at Encore phase, right?
Yep, that was the last ability is during the Encore step. After you've refreshed, clocked for damage, and other things, you get to heal a card.
Awesome. So what would you say some bad matchups are for the deck?
First bad matchup you run into is if they eat all the damage with Kokoro.
Your opponent just takes 9 and then your hand is 1.
You are happy your opponent ate 9, but you're not happy when you have no cards in hand. Yeah. That's why you've really got to work on lighting that to make sure that you get maybe those triggers. Pay the 1 for the Amagi ability to try to offset that a little bit, and also using the top 5 to look at 5. The other really big problem that honestly the deck can run into is your Mocha is an Afterglow character. So a lot of this ability in particular, you can only grab Pastel Palettes. Or Hello Happy Roll, thank you.
And that can only grab yellow.
And that can only grab
yellow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that can kind of run into some problems. Sometimes, I mean, I'll hold on to a Mocha at the start of the game just to make sure that I've got them. Yeah. Bad matchups. I don't really like I really don't like Sunshine. Sunshine popping in and doing all that extra damage early before I get a chance to hit with the before I get a chance to answer with the Himari is pretty rough. AOT can be really obnoxious with a Mocha when they happen to have a maneuver gear after you've set their deck and they shuffle it.
Oh, yeah.
Connor Pelham did that to me in round 1. That was kind of annoying. That's the 2 that really came out. Or the other thing is when they just cancel the 3rd card on a Mocha.
Yeah, the Mocha just gets you there, right?
You swing for 2, and you have it. You swing for 3. You have their deck set, and they hit that climax. They hit that climax on the 3rd card. That can be pretty devastating. That happened on my 1 game loss, but you know, overall can't complain. But if you're looking for a fairly cheap deck and you don't want to spend $40 on Yukinas, I really can't argue with going this route and would recommend it for anybody.
Yeah, the deck is really solid. I guess like one last question before we go.
Sure.
After your run in Chicago, do you think you would make any changes to it, or are you happy with it? How it looks
I'm
right
actually
now?
extremely happy with the way it is. As far as when Multi-Live comes out, to be honest, I'm not familiar with really a lot of what's coming in it, so I don't know what changes I'd make from there.
Okay.
The really big change was adding the level 0 Hugumi at the last minute.
Yeah, the climax searcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Shout out
really
to
powerful.
Tyler Smith on my team for telling me I was being stupid and not running that.
All right. Any goodbyes then?
Thanks for watching, everybody, and being patient, and have a great rest of the day.
All right. See you guys later.